Bardown Beauties with Jessi Pierce and Kirsten Krull. Two hockey minds trapped in bodies that can't skate. They may have never laced them up, but they'll break it all down with sharp takes and plenty of laughs. This is Hockey Talk, the Beauties way.
Hello, everybody. What's up? Bardown Beauties back in action. Jessi Pierce, Kirsten Krull coming in hot, fresh off a ton of hockey, back-to-backs this weekend. A ton more hockey coming up as the 6-game homestand for your Minnesota Wild continues. Kirsten, last year the Minnesota Wild overexceeded our expectations. They, were great on the road, not great at home. This year they are not good at home or on the road. A 2-3-1 record went away from Grand Casino Arena, 1-2-1 at Grand Casino Arena, and 1-4-2 in their last 7 games played. 13th in the West, 7th in the Central, 29th in the league. Our pets' heads are falling off. It feels bad. It feels really bad.
It does feel really bad because I think we're at the point it is really bad. I just even being in the arena the last 2 games this weekend, the energy is just sucked out of it. I mean, the Utah game was bad, and then San Jose, losing to San Jose was bad.
I mean,
I'm trying to tread lightly because I'm not being very just analytically critical at this point. Just overall, like it just wasn't.
The vibes are bad.
Very good. The vibes are bad. The vibes are off. There's bad juju going on right now. We need to realign our chakras or do something because it's all out of whack right now.
I mean, the Utah game, Utah is crushing it this year. Nick Schmaltz is doing everything in his power. Logan
Cooley is a bad man right now.
Yes, it's a lot of fun to watch, frankly. Again, I will always take the side of a general hockey fan. It's fun to watch. They are fast. So I knew that game was going to get off the rails. I didn't think it'd get as quickly off the rails as it did. But Minnesota cannot keep up with that type of speed. You saw it in New Jersey last week as well. In San Jose, had a very similar method as far as their youthfulness, right? San Jose, a struggling team, but for whatever reason, that's 2 years in a row now. They have come in and found the back of the net more than 5 times, 6 times, in fact, last night in overtime. And I think it was, 7 times last year toward the end of the regular season. I think it really starts down to, and we talked about this last week, Kirsten, but it remains a problem. There is zero consistency. I almost feel like I'm going to give ourselves a pat on the back that Hines and company listened to our episode last week, because every player I talked to in the locker room was like, yeah, our consistency's off. Our consistency's not there. I'm like, really? That's odd, because that's exactly what I said last week. That is the biggest problem for me, is there is no identity to the team. There doesn't feel like from period to period to game, there's nothing that has stayed the same, whether it's working or whether it's not, right? It's the only thing that stayed the same for 4 games. They haven't scored first, which is a freaking problem.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to grasp who this team is and what they're capable of when they've been as streaky as they have been to start. I can't get a gauge on where this team legitimately is or what they can be as we move out of October into November. We see spurts and we see things from players we wouldn't have expected to see from said players. And I'm going to just address the elephant in the room. We have made Marcus Johansson on a league minimum contract look like an elite goal scorer this past weekend. 3 goals in 2 games, top line forward. I mean, more power to him. He's played very well. He's been able to capitalize. He's been one of the best players on our team this weekend. So shout out, contract year, should expect it, should know this. But yeah, I didn't see that coming. I can't tell who this team is right now.
It's giving Victor Rask, right? It's very much like number 1 center, Victor Rask. He's up there. He's giving that opportunity. It's just Marcus Johansson not whiffing on these slam dunk shots is great. I'm so happy to finally see that for a change of pace. It's weird though. Again, it speaks to the roster and the lack of depth when you're putting him on the first line. He hadn't done anything to scream, I'm a top line player, and credit to Kirill Kaprizov, right, who continues his playmaking ability, not scoring 5-on-5, which is a problem for 97, but he's still opening up space and making plays, maybe forcing it a little bit too much. There were a number of turnovers in Sunday's game that you were just like, Kirill, you were trying to force your way out of this, and two of them led to goals, and I think another one was a penalty. Um,
I mean, not even
that
just Krull. Brock had said that post game last night too. He said right now, like all of these guys in this team are working their butts off. It's not because we're not working and not because we're not wanting to win, because every single player here wants to win. He's like, we're just trying so hard. And I think when you do that, it doesn't go the way you hope it does.
Well, and I had asked Hines that post game too. I said, "Does this feel like there's a desperation? You know, like should you be playing with this desperation because we still are 10 games in, right?
Mhm.
But it also seems like they've shown us who they are a little bit too. I don't believe that it remains a small sample size as we've discussed. I feel like they are showing very clear-cut problems that need to be addressed, and I think the way you address them is via trade, and we can get into that a little bit later. But it seems like, and Hines responded, there's a sense of urgency. They don't feel like they're desperate, and I do think maybe one win can turn the tides, but there's no time for them to catch their breath. Winnipeg is coming in off a loss to the Utah Mammoth the other or on Sunday night, so they're going to be out for vengeance. Utah is going to want to win that game even more so in St. Paul Tuesday. Then you got the Pittsburgh Penguins, who aren't that great. That's fine and well. You got Vancouver, who's playing hot. I feel like that's pretty sustainable, and then you have Nashville to round it out. Next week, again, a very important, almost critical 6-game homestand. It feels like, Kirsten.
It does feel that way. I think, I don't know. We do this time and time again. It's almost the same song and dance. We put ourselves in a position where our backs are forced to be against the wall. And sure enough, early on in the season, we're seeing it happen in real time.
Do you take solace in the fact that they've crawled back and they've climbed back into some of these games? You saw it against San Jose. You saw it a little bit against Utah too. Because for me, that just kind of seems like lip service sometimes. Like, oh, well, they managed. Like, don't put yourself in that position. Don't go down 2 rip. Don't go down 3 rip and allow yourselves to have such a poor start against these quick teams. I personally, I don't like that. It feels kind of cheap. It cheapens it a little bit. Like, it is great. You do find a way to play hard in the third period, but it's a 60-minute hockey game.
Quite frankly, I find it incredibly annoying that they decide to play super hard late in the third period to tie it up and force overtime just to lose in overtime. So I have to stay. It feels disrespectful of my time that you're going to force it to make us stay into overtime just to watch you lose in overtime.
As
So
somebody,
quite frankly, I find it incredibly annoying.
yeah, who has to write 2 stories then, and I'm on edge trying to make sure I file at deadline and have to rush to the room. It's a pain in the ass, and it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to
I mean,
me.
if you're going to get the win, if you force overtime, perfect. Like, love it. I'm happy. But if you're
I
going to lose, the audacity.
the sheer audacity. A season goal differential, Kirsten, of -11, which is very high on the NHL scale, very low rather. It's not good. How about that? We'll just go with that. It's not good. It's like second to last. Um, Again, 5-on-5 continues to struggle. You saw a little bit of 5-on-5, saw a little bit power play come back. But does this team have what it takes to be offensively competitive even?
Yes, they do, because we've
Okay.
seen it and we know what they're capable of. But man, right now, I don't know what it's going to take,
Like you
which
see, go ahead.
I was going to say, which is concerning. Like, I didn't really have much else to add. Like, right now, I think just the title of this episode is Concerned.
I kind of like
That's
that.
it.
Like,
Concerned.
I
Raise,
mean,
sound the alarm, which plays into our pregame hype and everything. Sound the alarm. Beware.
oh, that is
Concerned.
true.
I don't know.
I didn't even put
I'm
that
a little
together.
delirious right now. I'm running on minimal sleep and exhaustion.
Are we sounding the alarm? Like, is that fair to say? Like I said, we talked about desperation and it feeling like it's a desperate moment. And as fans in general, for any sport, we tend to overreact. And I'm not meaning to overreact, but the concerns that continue to be there and present and new blemishes that pop up, it's like, this team, I'm starting to wonder if they are even a playoff team
I
as
mean,
it's constructed
honestly,
now.
yeah, the way they're constructed right now, something has to happen. They're not gonna, I mean, they could bubble their way into the postseason this year, but that's just it. You're gonna be a bubble team. You're not gonna make a deep push where things currently stand. So something has to give. But also going back to if we're sounding the alarm, I'm always ready to sound the alarm. Like I'm always like finger like inching away from the button going down. I'm ready at a moment's notice to panic. over anything.
You mentioned Brock Faber, and I gotta say, like, a shout out to him. We talked about it heading into this year after I spoke with him for a separate story, and I could tell he just sounded very defeated and very deflated. But I was hoping, he's gonna have a good camp, he's gonna come in, and it really hasn't gone easy for Brock. And again, he's far and away not the only one. But listening to him post game Saturday in that Utah loss, and even on Sunday, where Sunday he played well, 3 assists. I want to give him the biggest confidence boost ever. Like, again, he is far and away not the only player underperforming. And I say underperforming because he is making uncharacteristic mistakes and he's just a step off and a step behind. And we've said that from the beginning of the year. But man, is he just so overly critical on himself. Like, I
Hmm.
get it. You're a professional athlete and he has high standards. And ironically enough, I ran into his dad following Saturday's game and mentioned that. I said, hey, let Brock know he's not this awful defenseman, but it seems like he is. He's one of those guys gripping it too tight and trying too hard. And as his dad had mentioned, he's a guy that wants to win. He doesn't want to lose, and he's going to take all of that and wear it. And you can't have him do that. Like, he needs to mentally push through, it seems, in order to find his game a little bit too.
Yeah, no, I agree. You just want to give the man a hug. Like he looks like he hasn't slept in 2 weeks. Honestly, looking at Brock Faber in these post-game press conferences, post-game scrums, he looks like the Ben Affleck meme of him just like smoking a cigarette, just looking absolutely defeated.
And God bless him because he'll always come and talk to us, and he has fantastic answers. He's one of the most eloquent speakers, I think, in that room and can really kind of put into words exactly how they're feeling while being honest too, which is always
Hmm.
appreciated from the media perspective. But yeah, like sometimes I want to be like, man, like you're right. You're not playing up to your standard. And I can appreciate you having this level of expectation for yourself. And I can appreciate you not wanting to, say it's okay that we're losing in the manners that we're losing. But I want him to just take that step back and take that breath. It's very similar to Jesper Velstad last year, right? And we know how that affected him. And now, granted, that's a goalie situation, and that's a little bit different because he was doing it down in the American Hockey League. But Brock, I just feel is, yeah, like he needs to mentally push through this adversity, as they all do, right? Because it's not all on Brock. Now, I will say this: the defense continues to be an annoyance to me because it's just these mistakes and missteps. And then you saw that kind of be addressed in the San Jose game where Jared Spurgeon gets a little bit of relief and gets paired with Jake Middleton. And you've got the two youngins together and David Jiricek and Zeev Buium, which wasn't great either. It's just, I don't know if I'm going to say something crazy. Do you want to see Jiricek and or Zeev down in Iowa for a hot minute?
I for sure don't want to see Zeev down in Iowa. I mean,
Okay.
we've seen his offensive prow a little bit here just through this past weekend. I know he's a defenseman, but we've seen a little bit of offense from him, which we've known him to come to have. And especially when our offense isn't offensing, we need that from somewhere. So Zeev for sure, no. Jiricek maybe,
Yeah.
but also we're we don't really have that many options right now.
I hate this topic because it's like I feel like I talk out of both sides of my mouth when it comes to it. Because on one side, I'm of course all in on let the young guys play, let them make the mistakes, let them, be messy out there. And that's true. And I think it's particularly true when it comes to Zeev Buium, right? He's being put in these instances, he's moving around on the power play, and you're right, because he has this incredible offensive skill. And the mistakes are so glaring because it's very evident that this is his first year. And I think again, he needs to wear, I think he needs to wear the mistakes as much as he wears the praise too. I think a lot of times this fan base is very so high on him and they look past any of the errors he's making, where I'm just trying to say it's not all perfect. It ain't all sunshine and roses when it comes to Zeev, because some of these, it's exhausting to watch Jared Spurgeon have to be that reliable defenseman who's covering up for him constantly. And it's affecting his numbers then too. I mean, Spurgeon is a -9 for like the first time in his career because he's out there trying to help Zeev. And I think that's important. And I like that they're there. And I don't think Zeev, you're right, should go to Iowa, but sometimes it's like it would feel better to have those mistakes happen down there than up here. I don't know. Again, if the Wild were winning, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Zeev could be struggling and the Wild are winning, and it's fine. But because they're losing, it's just makes it even more glaring that like, okay, these are young players that are not maybe quite 120% NHL ready.
Yeah, but also too, I'm like, I don't know if there's really an option in Iowa that would be
Yeah.
drastically better. I mean, we still are without Zach Bogosian, who is not going to be coming back for a minute. So I don't know. I still think they're the best available options that we have.
Yeah. I saw Bogo walking around in a boot in the press box yesterday, so apparently something is broken. Obviously, I didn't bother him, but
I have
um
heard it is a broken ankle.
that sounds about right. I mean, he was,
Yeah.
yeah, just walking around, hanging out. Great dress style by Zach Bogosian. It always sometimes is like when you're used to seeing them either in just their workout gear or a suit, like now that there's that removal of the dress code, I like
Love.
seeing guys like with the casual nice. You know what I mean?
No, I love it. I'm a
Yeah,
big, 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 big fan.
I am too. Like I know it's kind of you could quote unquote say they're boring, the wild guys, right? Like they're not the Willie Nylanders, they're not the Austin Matthews, and I didn't expect any of them to
Toronto
be.
is so spoiled with fashion.
Right.
I'm just gonna
Like,
say that. Like, Willie and Austin Kings, they serve night in,
and
night out.
see, and it's funny because I'm not hip enough to like appreciate good fashion. You know what I mean? Like fashion for what it is and like the wearable art. So to me, I'm kind of always like, ugh, like it's kind of hideous. Like I dig that like the wild guys will have kind of the like the nice joggers with like maybe a nice sweater or something where again it's like because here's the thing if you're wearing suits you're going in just to take it off like you're wearing it for
True.
literally a drive to the rink and then you're changing into your gear so it's almost like I like their approach of very casual you still have plenty of guys in nice suits which I can appreciate but what would you rather have the Torontos of the world like
I mean,
the
yeah,
pastas
absolutely.
and
It keeps
stuff
it fun and it gives me a lot to talk about. Like, I love good fashion. I love like the best dressed, the worst dressed. Like, I love that. And I think like Willie Nylander and Austin Matthews are just two of the coolest guys ever. So, like, yeah, I love it. I want more of it.
yeah
I
see I
don't
don't
think
know
we
it's
really
just
have a personality on our team though that's gonna do that. Maybe, I don't know. Never mind. I don't think so. I don't think we have a personality on our team that's gonna
not
do
like a
that.
loud boisterous personality is what it
Yeah, we
is
don't. We
like
don't have that.
no, you have guys that'll play along, but definitely not ones that are going to be loud and boisterous. Speaking of loud and boisterous, the notion that the Minnesota Wild need a coaching change has been very loud and boisterous. If you guys suggest to me Pete DeBoer needs to come be the coach of the Minnesota Wild one more
Oh, good
time, I
God. Are
swear,
people
I
saying that?
constantly, I am getting it constantly. I don't know if
John
you guys,
Tortorella,
oh boy, oh boy.
bring torts.
I can't no, I can't do torts. I need
No,
actual
bring
quotes. I
torts.
can't do it. I can't do that post game every day. Just
I don't have to
exhaust
do
me.
it. I can just enjoy from afar. Bring in
Doesn't
torts
yeah.
if
But you're not
sorry, I'm
thinking
not
of the plight of
encouraging a
me.
coaching change. I'm just saying John Tortorella is currently available.
Well, and I know
Peter
you would
Laviolette. Sorry.
yeah.
I'm just
Do you want a coaching change?
I didn't say I wanted one, but I
Yeah.
do think if this continues, without a doubt, hard deadline by the end of this homestand, if things do not improve, something needs to change or something needs to happen.
So if they only win one game after and say they beat Nashville, they finally salvage a victory, right? They drop all the rest of these games that we had just talked about coming up in this next week. Our heads rolling.
Well, I think some people are already starting to roll their heads. I
Right.
think at the end of this homestand, I think it would be very telling. And like, look at the division we play in. It's not easy. It's not going to get easier if you're just continuing to roll through games the way you have been. I don't know if it's a big trade. I don't know. I don't know. I just think something needs to happen, like something to shake it up.
I think naturally John Hines does have to wear these losses as well, right? Like the roster is constructed though to not be necessarily a good team. So I think that's part of it.
Mhm.
Obviously, as we've discussed before, when it came to Dean Evson, you can't fire players, you fire the coach. And
Yeah.
reminder, Dean Evson was Billy's guy. Like that was not an easy firing for him, just like John Hines is Bill's guy.
Mhm.
Um, Dino wasn't let go for any other reason than the team sucked. And right now the team is also not performing well. The thing that's very curious though is John Hines is working with the same roster he had last year, um, with minus a Matt Zuccarello, and it's similar systems too that he has implemented. He had a full season with these guys last year, so this year things should
Mhm.
have been very seamless. So it does make you wonder, like, what's different? John Hines will always tell us it's in the details. It's in the small details, and things are not going their way, and it's in the little battles, and he's not wrong. But it does make me wonder, is John, the criticism I have of Hines is he doing enough to make some of those changes? You finally saw wholesale line changes in Saturday's game against Utah, and those kind of stuck for Sunday. But has he done enough to make corrections to try to better the team, do you feel? Because I don't know that he has.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm John Hines, I'm incredibly frustrated right now. And I think we've seen that too. Even just seeing some of the games, like when they were on the road trip and I was watching from home and getting to see his post games, like just evident frustration, which very valid. Like you can only scratch your head so many times because yeah, it's the same group that you have worked with. And we've seen some very like gutsy and angsty moves previously, like in the past too, from John Hines. Like I remember what was it, just last season everyone was singing praises on John Hines and
Right.
all of like the good that he had done to shake up or make adjustments in game time that we didn't necessarily see as much with Evison. um so I don't know. I don't think it's all on John Hines. I just think right now too, I think the team itself, the players are in some form of a slump and there's only so much as the coach you can do.
For
I don't
sure.
know.
And they had individual meetings. I know I spoke with you. I know they've spoken with Marcus Foligno in particular, who's now hurt. Not sure how severe that is, but there were x-rays taken yesterday on Sunday. We're recording this on a Monday in case you weren't aware. So that doesn't sound great, but Marcus Foligno has not been doing well either. And this year I remember coming in all high on him saying, I think he's going to have this great season. And he hasn't been great. And obviously he wears a letter. They've had conversations with Krull and they've had conversations with Jared Spurgeon. And I say they, because I also mean Bill Guerin, has also had those sit downs. And I don't think they've been, necessarily yelling matches. They haven't been scolding or like, you guys are, this is pitiful. This is unacceptable. But sometimes I feel like you need that kick in the ass. Like, would you rather have a coach that is willing to kind of yell and have those closed door meetings? Or do you like the way that John Hines approaches it and lets the players kind of mitigate and have that direction themselves? I mean, I think there's a balance is the ideal answer, right? But Hines definitely seems almost too laid back sometimes for my taste.
I mean, yeah, I think you got to have a good mix of it. I mean, we've seen both ends, like John Tortorella. We've seen him just freak out real time. And these are grown men too. And I don't think that always gets very taken very well. But also too, in the same regard, like these players, they're very self-aware. They
Right.
know that their game hasn't necessarily been the best. I don't think freaking out on them and losing it is necessarily going to fix it either. So I don't know. I think there needs to be a good mix of both. And I think there probably is that we just don't see. Because I don't know
Yeah.
what I had seen from John Hines post game, he has just not looked happy. And I'm sure the players
No.
know it.
And granted, he's even keeled on both ends of the spectrum, right?
He
Like he's
is.
never given you that It's not the fiery emotion that Dean had. It's not Bruce
Hmm.
Boudreau, right? Like who was also just as over the top emotional. I noticed that you didn't really address when I said Pete DeBoer because I know how you feel about Pete DeBoer, but would you like to share with our audience how you would feel if the Minnesota Wild were to suddenly maybe add him, just hypothetical, completely hypothetically, if Pete DeBoer became the new Minnesota Wild head coach?
F. Pete DeBoer. Like, no, no. I don't know. I would say goaltenders watch out. Like,
Yeah, I don't think he would mesh well. I don't know that that would be an avenue to
mm,
to clear up any because again, that is the main suggestion I'm getting. If it's not just fire John Hines, it's hire Pete DeBoer. And I'm like, guys,
I mean,
I
he's
don't
a
think he
good
would mesh.
coach, but he is a divisive coach.
Yes, very much so. I think you're right. I think it would players either love him or hate him. I don't get the sense that and the guys that are in that room, I don't know that they would respond to Pete super well.
No.
I just it'd be very, very interesting. So, continuing on the topic of praises and whatnot, Marco Rossi. So we have a nice little group chat going with you, myself, and emergency goaltender Connor Beaupre. Shout out to Bopes. And we were talking about Marco Rossi, and I completely agree with this. And now again, Reminder, I have been critical of Marco Rossi because he's one of the, it's like that kid that you know can be better than what he is, right? And I've always said there's just a great value to Marco Rossi. It sometimes still feels that Marco Rossi, though, amongst the fan base, maybe even amongst the media, amongst the league, isn't, even though he's playing in the top six, again, even though he's got 100 points in his past 2 years, he jumped up 20 points last year. He's never really considered a true top six forward. Would you agree with that? And like, what does Marco need to do to actually be taken seriously, like as a top six forward? Because it doesn't feel like people are all in. Like, sure, he plays in the top six, but it's not really a top six forward. But he is, like, he's shown that he very much is a top six forward. A goal and an assist against the Sharks the other night. Important piece. I just don't think it's taken seriously.
All I have to say is, Marco Rossi, keep on keeping on, keep doing what you're doing. You are proven to be one of the best players on this roster, night in, night out. You are not a bust. Those who see you, such as myself, we see you, we support you, we're here for you. Game recognizes game. Keep doing your thing. Like, I've been a Marco Rossi stan since day one.
You have.
Welcome aboard, because I think maybe you're seeing things my way.
Again,
And also, I don't agree with the fan base not necessarily thinking he's a top six forward. I think more than not, I have heard the fan base like screaming like he's an exceptional player.
Yeah.
And why are we not seeing, like, even when the rumors were that he could be on the trading block,
right?
The fans didn't agree.
And again, I know that the organization just didn't seem to be all in on Marco. So for me, the only reason I suggested moving him is because, similar to, we'll get into this, Liam Ogren, if you're not bought in on it and you don't want to let the kid be the kid that he is, then get rid of him and get something back for him, because other teams will absolutely embrace it. Because I was more looking out for Marco the person then. Like, that's gotta suck to be hearing all of these, like, oh, they don't value me like they should, that I've done this, that, and the other thing, and I've done everything I can. And so it almost feels from an organizational standpoint that they don't value him. So that was the main reason that I'm like, well, then trade him. If this is how you're going to treat him, and again, he's still getting his top 6 minutes. It just doesn't feel like they're fully bought in. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's the organization not taking him seriously versus the fan base.
I would say that more so than the fans, because I just see fans singing his praises.
This is true. They do love saying he's not a bust. And he's, again, off to
love
another
Marco.
Great
I
start.
respect his game.
2 goals, 8 points. And it's definitely been good. Speaking of Liam Ogren, he remains down in Iowa. Iowa is atrocious, for the record. They are really struggling down there. Do the Minnesota Wild need to explore trading Liam Ogren? If we're talking that the one way to improve this team is not going to come within, it's going to have to come from the outside. And again, we talked about it last week, but to reiterate, I don't feel the Minnesota Wild are bought in on Ogren as an NHL player. Do you trade him? Are you able to trade him, even because you haven't showcased him necessarily as this high valued prospect, even though he was a first round pick for you? What do you think about the Ogren situation as it continues, as he remains in Iowa, despite them clearly needing some help offensively?
I mean, I don't want to see him gone. I want to see him playing minutes up on the Wild, especially with the current state of the team. Like I say, let the young guys play. But I think at the end of the day, like, it depends what you could get back. But that's just that. I don't know what we could get back from him right now, because it's similar to the Marco Rossi situation this summer, to where there was seemingly, maybe it was the proposition to add him to your team was a little lackluster because of you not necessarily expressing you want him a part of your group.
Right. I
don't
just
know.
feel, I mean, he's a package. He's part of a package, I think. Like, I think it's an easy piece to toss in, because you can say, oh, he's this valued player, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of good packages, don't forget to grab your Minnesota Wild ticket pack for the October 30th matchup. That's this Thursday against the Pittsburgh Penguins, for an exclusive Movember tee with our friends over at Soda Stick. That's their big collaboration. It's a great Movember tea. I've seen it. Don't forget to use Bardown Beauties at checkout for 15% discount on all of their merch. You know they've got the best. They do customized merching too, you guys. Like we have our own Bardown Beauties jerseys. We've got our own Bardown shirt. They will add your logo to whatever garb you would like. It's great. They're the best. We love them. Again, Bardown Beauties at checkout for 15% off. But let's hop into buy or sell then, Kirsten. I've got some good ones for you. The first one, do you buy or sell the idea that goaltending is actually a concern and not a strength this year?
I'm buying it at this current moment in time
Yes.
because Gus, love him, has not looked that great. So I say current concern. So I'm
Correct.
buying it at this moment, but I don't think long term it's a concern.
Yeah. They have allowed the second most goals this year at 39. San Jose, yes, the same San Jose that scored 6 on them is the only team that's allowed more at 42. And Gus is at a .89 save percentage, ranks 32nd in the league, 3.34 goals against average. Now, I will stress it's the defense and the offense collectively being the bigger problem than the goaltending. But I'm also buying the idea because the goaltending has not saved or stolen a game, right? Like there have been situations for namely Philip Gustafson just because he's been the starter in more situations, but even Jesper, like that overtime game winner from Celebrini, incredible breakaway, right? You could argue that that could have been stopped. There were a couple soft ones let in there by Jesper too. I don't think again the goaltending. You're absolutely right, Kirsten. It's a concern right now. It's not, I don't think, going to be a concern moving forward as other elements of the team come together, but I definitely think it's not getting maybe again, a little bit of the critical eye that it should be because there are certainly things that seem a little bit off, but I would agree. Buy or sell, Ryan Hartman still fits in as a top 6 forward himself.
Buy. He's been one of the best players on the team so far.
Do you think he can keep that up? Like
Yes.
he's another very streaky guy, right? Like he was great opening night, hadn't scored for a bit, but then he comes back this weekend and has a good game. Like he's kind of a very up and down and can be a little bit of a problematic player. I love him for it, but he can still be a little problematic out there by just running his mouth and luckily though hasn't been by way of penalties, so we love that for him. But you think he's a top 6, like keep it in there, lock it in?
As long as he stays out of the box, yes.
And he's the only guy that can really win faceoffs too. Like I can enjoy that. I'm gonna toss another thing at you then. Would you trade Ryan Hartman?
No,
Okay.
I don't think
Like if
the ceiling would be that high for him at
see,
this
and I
point in
think
his
it
career
might.
either.
See, I think it might. I would argue that he's the type of like pest player, kind of like a Brad Marchand, right? Like
Love Marchand.
I think he's kind of on that level, right? Like he'll get under your skin, but he can also contribute too. And I think if he can show that he really has locked down his decision making when it comes to that temper and comes to those penalties, I think there's a value there for him. So it's something that I just am kind of keeping a little eye on. I love having a Ryan Hartman on this team. Don't get me wrong, but it's something that I'd be aware of. Um, this is the final buy or sell of this week. I know you're gonna really like this one. We've talked about it together personally, but do you buy or sell that Macklin Celebrini is better than Connor Bedard?
Buy it without a doubt. I said this, I think, a year or two ago that I thought he was going to be better than Bedard. And everything we have seen thus far, he has been better than Bedard. Like Macklin Celebrini, bad man. Like dangerous. Like he already has 2 hat tricks so far this season, 10 games into the season. Like he's 19 years old.
19 years old.
He's insane. He has filthy hands. He's got speed. He's built like a man at 19 years old. Like he is, I think, a bigger deal than Bedard, but all the hype has been around Bedard.
And I just like his personality a little bit better too. Like I'll be honest, like that's a huge component. And I love that he played college hockey because I'm a big college hockey fan. I prefer that route over juniors. That's just me. And so to have a guy like Macklin Celebrini go the college hockey route, win the Hobie Baker, as you're well aware, you're familiar with him in that capacity too. And it's his playmaking and his vision too. Like that no look backhander to Tyler Toffoli last night too. Like it's not even just the fact that he can put the puck in the back of the net, but he has a vision too, and he just all the skills.
He's so good. I wish he was on our team.
He's so good. And he's caring too. Not to say that Connor Bedard's not. I don't know the charity work that he does, but I know In particular, Celebrini met with the Lakeville family who he had met last year through Make-A-Wish and spent a good amount of time with them before he came and chatted with us media yesterday. So he's a good kid too.
Love him. Love him for
Freaking
that.
19 years old too.
Yep. San Jose is going to be scary in like 2 years. Like they're going to be.
I keep
freaking
waiting. You keep
good.
seeing like even when I'm like they're like Eklund, Smith, Askarov, and Net is the most chaotic thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Like I don't know how I feel about it. Like that's a lot. There's a lot going on there. Um, and they've got even a young coach. Like their coach, it's the first NHL coach that's younger than me, which you
Nope.
know is throws me off. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I
Oh.
just said, oh,
Oh,
like because you're
Because
talking about
I'm
your
old?
age again.
yeah.
No, because you're bringing up your age again.
Well, I'm old. Okay, it's fine. I'm learning to come to terms with it. I think.
And on that note, thank you guys for listening.
We love it. No, but we'll wrap up this week's episode. As always, shout out to our friends at Score North. Don't forget to check out all the other content, Judd's Hockey Show in our hockey division. Plus, they've got Flagrant Howls because the Timberwolves are back loving the trees. Like we're full in back to like the 90s, and I'm so here for it.
Same. Love.
As long as it's not like the pit of despairs of Minnesota sport. Although the 90s, I think we're okay for
The
most
90s
sports.
were fine.
You had, North Stars made it
KG.
to the finals in the 90s.
Wait, maybe. I
Twins
don't know.
won.
Never mind. I'd take.
KG's
Stop.
90s. Yeah, what?
Yeah, never mind. Never mind. We're good.
You're good? You feeling okay?
Yeah, we're
about
good.
it? I'll tell you all about the 90s someday. Don't you worry. It'll be great.
Thank you, because I don't remember.
Oh, man. It was just like 20 years ago. It's fine. I know it was more. It was only 30 years ago.
All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this
Thank
week's
you.
episode of Bardown Beauties before Jessi starts crying, talking about her age. We will see you guys back here next week. Thank you so much.
Go wild. Bye.